Welcome to the bold analysis. After getting intel last night on Tuesday, when I went through the program, I knew that William Ruto was not going to attend Magoha's funeral. So my attention was drawn to this man. This is the man who I knew was going to be the face of William Ruto in game. And from what I saw there, I want to look at the observations behind the scenes of what exactly played out. And it will make us to form a very concrete premise about the man in your screen, Eliud Owalo, who is the CS in charge of ICT in William Ruto's cabinet and the only Luo in that cabinet, if I'm not wrong, the member of cabinet. What happened? I just want to go through some quick observations behind the scenes. Uhuru Kenyatta, who was Magoha's colleague and Magoha's boss, arrived in that place. His chopper landed there some few minutes to 10 a.m. and he was received by members of cabinet, William Ruto's two members of the cabinet, that is Owalo, Machogu, and also Jeremiah Kioni and Raphael Tuju, amongst the other representatives from the family. When he walked into the tent, other ministers, Ruto did not make appearance, of course, but he sent the Labor and Scarce Minister, Florence Bore, who is actually from Kericho. He was a former Kericho women rep. So she also represented members of cabinet from William Ruto's side, including Machogu, who was immediate, who took over the docket from the late Magoha. And also, I am glad I realized that he had I don't know whether his son or relative had benefited from Magoha because Magoha picked him as a lawyer, or rather his legal advisor in that ministry. So there's some things you need to see. Discussions about how politicians are related really was a very interesting part for me, because Tuju and Magoha were cousins and they were in government and no one knew and they worked well. It also shows you that. And Raila and Tuju are also related. Remember, there have been strong political antagonists back then, the days before the handshake. But then they worked together in 2022. And Edo is also related to the family. So there are a lot of, I liked that because it actually showed the public that msipegane huku mbele, huko nyuma watu wanajuana. No single member of parliament from UDA was there. If there was any, maybe let me know. I understand there was no clear communication whether President William Ruto was going to attend, but there were some few members of his advanced team who were around, but they did not clearly whether President was attending. Two highlights that I want us to look at. The first highlight is the rousing welcome Uhuru Kenyatta received in game. This is a man, and the highlight of Babu Owino sharing light moment with him, a man who had been receiving mixed feelings that maybe he supported Raila, he supported not, but it tells you that the population buy one thing that I keep on saying, that Uhuru Kenyatta supported Raila Odinga. Hiyo ndio ukweli. And the population are buying it. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and I can tell you that maybe I may have the luxury of knowing more, which may not be said on camera, but Uhuru, without Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila would not have had the candidate of 2022. Yes, that's the truth. Even all those, we can say everything about, he never did this, he never did that. But at the back of our minds, we know very well that he was the wheel. He whipped the whole of, in fact, in terms of resource mobilization, maybe he might have lost it on the tactics. But on what was needed, resource mobilization, he was on top of his game. And maybe that's what we just needed to give him. We were not supposed to give him more than just resources. We'll just play backroom role, but not give him the big role. The other highlight was the traditional culture play. It was so unfortunate that some few people who, of course, have consistent hate on Raila decided to term this, call it different sort of names, while Barbara, Magoha's wife, mourned the husband the Nigerian way in Nairobi here, and it was very pleasant. We all liked it. We were like, okay, this is their culture. So, kubeba ile arrow, that's how you mourn an elder. I remember when my grandfather passed on, it was, I love there is that chanting. That's how it's done. It was meant to make, we normally say that men don't weep, don't tear down. Huh? They chant. And when you're mourning an elder, that's how you mourn an elder. The father of Eugene Wamalwa alipoenda kumon Jaramogi, that's how he was. He did it the Luhya way. And that is how it is done. There's nothing new there. That is the culture. You can hate Raila, but, and I want to categorically single out this joker here. I think I even did that to it. There is someone here who said a lot of things. You can insult Raila, but not our culture, not the culture. This is the pride of a community. I think it was so. While you want to insult Raila to impress your semi-god, you must be worshipping. But just respect others' cultures. That's it. There is nothing big to it. Just as simple as that. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I would want to mention that we are closing the fundraiser tomorrow. With the little that those who had promised, you can send in your support. The number is up there. And we'll be glad. Yes, Kirugara. Check her in Twitter. And nisema vitu zingine zenye zi make sense sana kuhusu that. I think it was very unpleasant. Matiang'i finally missed. Matiang'i finally missed because, when there were those troubles, there were those narratives that, there was a narrative that was coming up that was a ploy to block him, or rather block him out. I was wondering why he missed, and he was the man who was behind this. Uhuru Kenyatta had directed him and Tuju to coordinate in the family for the success of that event. But technically, he had to be out. Maybe his fear. Also doesn't want to make the public appearance because there will be a lot of judgmentals. And now he's at the center of the discussion going on. You never know. You can come out and everything you say, the next day they find something to say about you. What does it make? I want to talk to Eliud Owalo. Owalo factor in Raila's succession. By the way, Owalo did not welcome Raila. Alimsalimia tu kwa tentu. Uko nyuma hakuwa. When you welcome ni yeye, my member, it was when you welcome the governor Orengo, my member of parliament Sam Atandi, the Ugenya one, is it Ugunja, Upia Wandai? Yes. Even the game guy was not there. So, one factor in Raila's succession, Nyanza, cannot thrive under Ruto. It does not. It lacks the spark. That's one thing. He kept on insisting in that speech, when he was reading that speech, Ruto's government, but the crowd was not tagging along. That's one thing you can say. And by the way, to those who are head of communications in the office of the president, I think when a caliber leader in the caliber of a former minister and the president really means well, that want to mourn, instead of writing those typos and sending someone to go and read, I think we are in a digital age, and those typos sometimes, who someone even doubts whether they've been written by the president or not. Yeah, some people doubt. I remember there was a time mtu alisoma yule mahali nani and Oscar Sudi akasema huyo jamaa amejiandikia hiyo kitu. I think it was Raila's eulogy somewhere in the Rift Valley. Na Oscar Sudi akasema Raila hakuandika hiyo kitu, ni huyo jamaa ajiandikia hiyo kitu. I think it was Stephen Taros. So yeah, it was during a burial of I think this athlete who passed on, if I'm not wrong. Now, president and those who are handling, we have all the resources. Why don't they just record a small video? President sending in his messages, it gets the emotion appealing to it. It creates the emotion because this is death and family will feel it. Thinking instead of writing typos and giving people to go and read in funerals, it's a bit backward. That's my proposal. Maybe someone should grab this, that instead of sending people with papers, just record a video and then it can be played there. It works better. It's more emotional. People can easily relate with it. Now, Uhuru dalliance with Raila base can charge them to the ballot. One thing that Raila is struggling with, whether he vies or supports another person, is could supporters be fatigued? Now that fatigue can only be rejuvenated. They can only be rejuvenated by a hope. This is a man who has been to State House. So when he's telling you vote in so that this guy becomes president, it can. And I think that's why the presence of Uhuru Kenyatta around Raila adds more value. I think it was in order for Ruto to just keep off that barrier, because it would have met a humiliating crowd. Yes, the crowd would have been a bit hostile. Looking at Orengo's speech, listen to Orengo's speech, and of course, due to the program, Orengo's speech, P1I, and host of leaders from the region, Ruto would have met not a very good speech, because we would have been tempted to respond to what is going on there. Why my analysis was that state had been locked out of that burial, and that come true. Yeah, I analyzed on Sunday night that they had been locked out. That's my take, guys. So let's meet. We're picking the next from today, events of today.